I mean, that's probably the best cliffhanger I have ever seen. Village of Angels. Oh my goodness, what a way to end part 4 of Flux. If you've not seen my channel before, then my name is Shah. I am also Geek Rambles, and I am talking about all sorts: Doctor Who, Star Wars and Marvel. I just figured out that there's just a lot more going on with Doctor Who at the moment, purely because Flux is actually amazing right now. Have you seen the episode yet? If so, what did you think of it? If you haven't, then this is going to be a massive spoiler, so please count this as your warning. It's going to be a full spoiler review as well, because there is no way on God's green earth that I can give you everything and share my thoughts with you without going into spoilers. So before you watch this video, if you've not watched Village of Angels, please go back and watch it. This is your warning. So if you are watching this video, I kind of know why you're watching it. We want to get into the nitty gritty, but I'm not there yet. I feel like if we just go through the motions of what happened, try and get our heads together, then we can potentially make this work. I haven't wrote any notes on this one. Not that I ever stick to them anyway, so that's totally fine, but I genuinely couldn't. I was so invested in that episode that I genuinely didn't even want to take a moment to pause it, to pick up my pen, to pick up this book. I just did not want to do it. It was so engaging throughout the whole episode because I just felt like there was something bigger that was going to happen, and oh boy, was I right. So we start from the very beginning. We've got Claire coming back, but I wasn't expecting her to be that important. I know that maybe there's going to be some people out there that don't think that she was that important because, of course, it's what's inside her that's more important. That sounds very sentimental, but if you've watched it, so you know what I mean. Of course, we see something completely different with her this time, something that we've never seen with any other angel story with her, that she is possessed, but not like Amy, because you're probably about to say, oh, hang on a minute, Amy was possessed by an angel too. But she wasn't exactly the same as Amy, you know, in the way that she physically struggles at the start and she starts getting visibly distressed. I found that really interesting because I was thinking, what's causing that? They're usually not powerful enough to cause you to be under such distress, so I was happy to see that. Then of course we meet Gerald, or Reginald, I can't actually remember his name, and his missus. They're fine. They're a little bit one-dimensional. I wasn't completely blown away by them, not necessarily because of their performance, just because I felt like there'd be a lot more to it. I really liked the Professor. I thought he was really, really good. Purely because when he was watching the screen, he was so, you know, you are not going to beat me. I am not going to blink. You're not going to get the better of me. I really, really liked that because, you know, when they were talking to him and using his voice through the screen, and they said something like, you're loveless, you're childless, all you've got is your knowledge. And then it turns out that knowledge is actually what the angels want. I feel like it really spoke to him and gave him a bit more purpose than he probably wouldn't have had if he'd just been a standard character that was, I don't even know, if he had a bit more dimension to him, which I really, really like to see. And I like to see that even within one time of meeting him, that we get to see someone that is at least partially fleshed out, because that's what I want. Then of course we've got Yaz and Dan. Unfortunately they didn't really have that much to do, and I was a little bit these are nitpicks, these are pure nitpicks, and they're not ones to be taken seriously, or to be taken like I'm criticising the episode, because I actually loved it. It is my favourite one out of the whole 4 that we've seen so far. However, I've got a couple of things that I do want to nitpick a little bit. First one, and I will come back to Yes and Dan, sorry. First one is just the dialogue. At times, it's great. The story moved at a fantastic pace. The pacing wasn't an issue for me at all. But the dialogue at times was just that little bit too clunky. I wasn't massively invested in what they had to say. I was more invested in the story behind it and what we were going to learn. I didn't lose interest and I wasn't bored. That would be really unfair to say, but there were just times when I was thinking, this could have been a little bit better. But going back to Yaz and Dan, it was more an annoyance for me, because I felt like there was a time when Yaz wanted to step into the Doctor's shoes and it felt like she was bossing him around a little. And I know that Dan's, one of these that sort of seems a bit oblivious, but he was really on it. And but it was just, when the angel came and he said, that statue wasn't there before, was it? And then it comes closer and then she's like, oh, keep your eye on it, don't do this, do that. And I was thinking, hang on a minute, he knows this, he's seen exactly the same as you have, love. Like, he's not done anything different to you, so why are you trying to take the reins on this? It doesn't really make much sense to me. As much as I know that Yaz has been there longer, I feel like her and Dan are treated as equals. So I just felt a little bit like maybe you shouldn't be trying to do a bit of a Clara, because I hope that's not what they're going to be going for in terms of the whole story. I don't want another Clara. I've had one, and look at how that turned out, But I did love seeing her attempt to figure out what this angel was doing, because yes, I know that Claire had a bit of an Amy scenario going on where bits of her would turn into angels, but then turn into an angel, but then it would go away, and when she rubbed her eye and they just came out, I was thinking, oh, you're not just going to reuse that, are you? So I'm glad that they didn't. But as soon as the division was mentioned, I knew that we were going to be in for a bit of a treat. I have been very honest and said that I am not a fan of the Timeless Child. I don't really want to know anything about the division, and that I would love to see the Doctor demystified, Gallifrey demystified. I don't want to know everything about everyone, because that's one of the beauties of the show, to me anyway. That's why I love it so much, is because there is so much that we'll never know, which should be frustrating but really isn't. I just love to have that feeling. I mean, for God's sake, the show is called Doctor Who, I don't want to really know about her or her origins. Speaking of origins, I also didn't want to know about the angels' origins, so I'm glad, because I was really worried that we were going to get into the whole start of the angels and how they became these quantum locked beings, purely because if they're the oldest creatures in the universe, we don't need a story. That explains it perfectly enough to me. But of course the Doctor tries to do what she does best and bargain with the angels, tries to get Claire to be reinstated as herself, and to not have the angels toying with people and killing these people by closing in this sort of hunting pen. But I genuinely was not expecting the twist that I had. Honestly, the second that they said that they'd made a trade, sorry, I'm going right to the end now, but when she says that they've already made a trade and they've accepted this bargain, and then you see Yaz terrified, and then you see all these ripples going towards the Doctor, and the second I saw her boots turn grey, I was like, no, this is not about to happen. And then when I saw those wings come out of her shoulders, my jaw, I had to pick it back up again. I still can't believe what I've just seen. And this will age either really well or not, and I might be feeling completely different. I actually went and just not rewatched, but just saw the videos that I've made in the past, and I've realised how much my opinion has changed, and that was only a few months ago. So if this ages back poorly, then that's fine. But I have never seen a cliffhanger like that. I even called my roommate. My roommate isn't that much. He likes Doctor Who, but he's not into it as much as I am. And he was about to go to work, and I was like, "You're not going anywhere. I need you to come back and see what I have just witnessed." And he was just like, "Oh, that's different." And I said, "And yeah, I just can't get over her as an angel. I never ever in my wildest dreams thought that was ever going to happen. And if there's one, I've said it so many times, but I'm going to say it again. Chibnall, if there's one thing that geezer gets right, it's that everything is so secret. And everything that is out there, or any leaks that have been had, are either intentional or someone's just betrayed him. Because the one thing that I've loved about this whole story, you know, the Flux so far, is that every single episode I have been surprised and I've had a moment. You know, I've loved it so much, and there's just so much more to come that I really hope this isn't the beginning of a decline. I've loved every episode, and my love for it has either stayed the same or it's even just got better. And this, in my humble opinion, is the best episode we have had thus far. I know there's only been 4, but they've been packed, and the most developed stories that Chibnall has done throughout this whole era, and I am so happy for that. Speaking of different things, I don't know if this is something that has been explored in the past, and this just makes me a really bad Whovian, but I haven't seen this before, because my roommate was watching it with me just for a little while before he had to go to work, and he said, what happens if the angels get you twice? What happens then? And this is before you know, what happened to Gerald or Reginald or whatever his name is. And I said, oh, they just keep sending you back in time, because it made me think of the angels of Manhattan and how they used them as like a battery farm of humans, just so they could feed off time energy forever. So I hope it's a new thing, or else, like I said, it makes me a really bad Whovian. But to see that they genuinely just don't give a monkeys now. If you get caught twice, ta-da, because you're dead. That was a new thing, and that was something where I thought, okay, because I got to the point before this episode where the angels weren't scaring me anymore. And don't get me wrong, there was a couple of jump scares, but that's cheap. I don't really like jump scares as it is, purely because that's not me being scared, that's just someone making me jump. But to see that they genuinely would just think, we don't even want your time energy anymore, we're just gonna kill you, is excellent to me. If I have one gripe with this whole Flux story, is that I don't need to see every character that has been introduced. I don't need to see them every episode or every other episode. If you're going to do a thing on these characters, do it where it has meaning. I love asking questions, and I love having fun with a show that I adore and have, you know, love in my heart towards. But I don't want to ask that many questions about something that's not even relevant yet, you know. So I wasn't 100% on board with that. Like I said, that belongs in either the last episode or it belongs in the next episode. I mean, Survivors of the Flux, that would make so much sense to be in that episode, but that doesn't matter because we're not talking about that right now. And then my other little thing, niggly in the back of my head, is that I am not as invested in Belle and Vinda as I feel like I ought to be. I don't know if that is because of their characters. Again, it's not because of their performances. Their performances are fine. They're functional. They're not a problem to me whatsoever. But I'm hoping that I'm not impacted by what I feel like their baby is going to be. You know? And I know that this can swing so many ways, and we've not even been given any sort of inkling that their baby is the Timeless Child, or even that they're the Doctor, or even that they're anybody else that is remotely related to the Doctor. I feel like I kind of know where it is going to go, but I'm hoping that it's not going to be the case. And if it is, if it is the Doctor, I'll be surprised, but probably not for the reason you're thinking. I'll be surprised because if we as fans can cotton on to what that is, or what the baby's going to be, sorry, I was more talking about the plot, but if we can cotton on to what their baby is, or who their baby is, that's not great, because I want to be surprised. I want another jaw-dropping moment. If the baby turns out to be someone like the Master, that'll be great. I won't have a problem with that, because that will explain a lot when it comes to the Timeless Child. That will explain why the Master destroyed Gallifrey. That will explain why he was so bitter and salty. towards the Doctor and towards the Time Lords, the Order, the Gallifreyans, the Division. That will make more sense to me. And if I'm being honest, it will mean that my hope of Jo Martin not being a pre-Hartnell Doctor will be realised. So I'll be happy about that. Coming on to that, oh my goodness, this is why I need to write notes, because even though I don't stick to them, at least it means that I can pace my videos. One thing that really stuck out to me is that, of course, and I'm very obviously very well aware, the Doctor Who started in 1963, I get that. However, we've all had this thing where we've said Jo Martin cannot possibly be a pre-Hartnell Doctor because she has a TARDIS, she calls it a ship, and it's in the form of a police box, which only happened with Hartnell. We're all agreed on that, right? Excellent. So, if it means, the Doctor is now an angel, which, that's mind-blowing in itself, but how's the Doctor going to get out of it? Why can't Ruth come back? She said, Jo Martin said in one of her interviews that she's not easy to get rid of, which I'm very, very happy to know. But that means that we can potentially get Jo Martin's Doctor back to come and rescue Yaz and Dan, because I'm fairly certain that they're not going to stay in 1901. Or at least I hope they don't either. But I just have this feeling, maybe it's more of a fan fiction-y kind of thing, but I'm taking this theory and I'm claiming it as my own. Jo Martin's TARDIS, it's in the 60s, so she can go there. That's how she claims her TARDIS. Everything's all timey-wimey anyway. Everything's breaking down. Time means nothing in this. We've seen how easy it's been for the angels to take a whole entire village and take it out of time and space entirely. So this could be a way to show that Jo Martin's Doctor is not pre-Hartnell, and that will make me so happy. So I really hope they go with that. And if they don't, I hope it's something better than that, because my theory might be a bit lame and I didn't really go into it as deeply as I wanted to. But that's purely because in my own headcanon it works, but I can't really articulate it to explain it to yourselves, so take from that what you will. Then of course we get the full credits and the Next Time trailer, and oh my God, Kate Stewart's back. I'm so happy. She's trending on Twitter. Everyone's happy. I wasn't always not that I wasn't a fan of Kate Stewart. I just wasn't judging by everyone else's reaction, I wasn't 100% as into her as everyone else was, but I'm still happy to see her. I'm glad that Unit is still a thing. I keep forgetting about the Ood, but of course the Ood are in there. The Grand Serpent's back, which is excellent. Like I said, Unit's back. We get to see so much of what's in that episode without knowing a single thing. But if there's one thing that I can say, just judging by that trailer, we're in for a massive treat. And like I said at the start of this video, I really, really don't want to have it be that Chibnall has had this run and string of excellent episodes. I said that I wanted Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker to go out with a bang. If these next 2 weeks are anything like the past 4, I am so here for it. And I am so excited to see where they go with this. I feel like this is the time, hopefully, when we're going to get things starting to wrap up. And if it means that we do delve into the Timeless Child, and we are obviously going to delve into the Division, then that's absolutely fine. I actually don't have that much of a problem with the Timeless Child anymore. I just hope it's not going to be a way where it's all cleaned up and it's great, but it means that we know everything about the Doctor. I just don't want that to happen. But anyway, Village of the Angels, what did you think about it? Please let me know. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or were you like me, where you thought it was probably one of the strongest Angels episodes in the history of Who? Bold statement, I know, but it's genuinely my feeling. Whatever it is, let me know. Let's talk about it. I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. I'll post all the links below in the description, like I always do. Go check out my other videos if you would be so kind. That would be lovely. Please make sure you give this a like, a comment, and if you could press that lovely little subscribe button, that would honestly mean everything. It's totally free, it takes you a second, and it helps me so much. It really helps my algorithm, and I love to know that people are actually enjoying my grating voice. So that's also a nice plus. But until next time, take care of yourselves, stay super, super well and safe, and I'll see you very, very soon.